I'm actually over here now, standing in the pit of what would be the first European American contact. I'm in a fire pit, and I have some stones. Well, one keystone. Keystone is going to tell the whole story pretty much of European American contact here in Americas. Came over to the site today to do the video, and we're going to look at the stone here in a minute. I have it right here. Get down here. I'm going to get my clipboard over here first. So I can show you some things here. Now, Native Americans, of course, use symbolism for most of everything because there was not a written language. So they would make symbols, pictures to communicate. Each symbol, of course, would mean something. You put them all together and it'll tell you something. You know, whatever it is they wanted to convey to each other. Pictures, symbolism, and for just about everything called pictographs. And the Native Americans, pictographs, they used this symbol here, which would be the Native American symbol of man. Then below that I have the Native American symbol of man dances. Okay, and this is key because this stone has similar pictographs all put together. And there's another one, which would be, this is on the stone. It's actually like what it looks like to be like a goddess sitting next to a fire pit. You know, maybe tending a fire or something. The stone artifact itself, get down here, is right here. And there it is. It's a goddess sitting next to a fire. You can see the smoke going up. Now this thing's thousands of years old, so you know the etching, you know, isn't going to hold up. It was been out here for that long at least anyways. And then above that is the two images of man and what looks like man dancing. So we have a symbol here of goddess brings fire, gives to man, man dances. Now there's no real way of knowing exactly what that means. It's just the symbolisms as it is on the stone. They also made, you know, some other artifacts, European artifacts. We'll get here. This is a bone. You can see the etching where they cut right there. It's a bone spear point. It's pretty neat. This here is sandstone, and it looks like it's probably used for, you know, a garment attachment. It's got the nubbins there. And now in terms of goddess, okay, when they would portray, you know, like humans themselves would always be a stick figure. Okay. But when they would portray like animals or goddesses, they'd be in their most likeness form. They look exactly like what they would normally look like. You know, as opposed to man, it would be just a stick figure. So, you have here, in a lower relief, goddess. You can see the etching. There's her head right there and her hair. She's looking off to your right. And then her body and then her buttocks there. Now you can see like the color. If you flip this around, you can see where it's on the bottom. Coloring that they used for to put color to that. Here's the rest of the stone. Bugs around here don't help. Now when you look at the site here, yeah, it's like a goddess, like in lower relief etching. European American. It's very fascinating stuff. Imagine that there's Europeans, probably from Salute for France. You know, the Salutrians. Anyways, we don't really know, but there's, you know, people come here from France. There is evidence, small amounts of evidence. But this here is a really good site for more artifacts from this time period. You know, a lot of other places, like a few. This site here had, man, there must be like 50 some artifacts. Right over here is where a nice bone spear point that I had there. Along here, there was a pile. I don't know, there must be at least 10 bone artifacts. Not to mention, you know, the artifacts are up top. This is another key to it right here. This right here. It's a burn. Matches nearly identical to that, which is found in France. It's like a cutting tool. You can score things with it. With this tip right here, you just score. And then there's like the willow. There's like the strike platform right here. You see it goes down. It's like a willow style point. It's unfinished. They were going to come back to this. Here's a few. Here's another unfinished, like a laurel leaf. You can see the same strike platform, and then it's flat. Keep working. It's not working too much of it anymore. Think more about doing more videos and reporting on it. This gets pretty steep right over here. See, it's a common site. You got the river. You got the sandy creek down there. So this is artifacts of that stone right there with the pictographs on it. Would be, you know, what I would call, you know, depiction of Sandy Man, their group of themselves. Sandy Lick Creek, so I call him Sandy Man. This is really steep here. Get up here. See that? Top part of the site. There's been artifacts, caches if you found here. There's the top pit right there. Sun might be there's construction all around this thing. And there was really a railroad down there. Then you have a creek. Buildings right there. This middle part. There's the whole history of our city, you know, township. It went missed as far as construction goes. I went back and researched, you know, through the history of this area. You know, year by year, decade by decade. Found out, you know, how this was missed. So it went untouched. Yeah, this is the key right here. European American contact. Of course, these videos have always been entitled The American Upper Paleolithic. While these artifacts are of Upper Paleolithic style, you know, it wasn't an Upper Paleolithic period here, you know, in the United States. But rather we had a European American contact as being the first people that came here, and they were here, and who knows how many. And then you have like what's known as like the Folsom people, you know. And then, you know, the Clovis. Who are the Clovis people? We'll probably never know, but they're probably Solutreans, European American. Their technology is very similar, you know, to what I'm seeing here. I actually thought I had maybe stumbled upon a Clovis site, but I wasn't finding any spear points. The Clovis fluted spear points. I wasn't finding any of those. The closest thing to that, you know, is back to this one. And it's you know, it's not finished, but it differs. You know, if you finish this, you know, there's obviously no flute. I haven't found anything here with a float. Was actually, was actually hard, at first to try to figure out, of course, well, it must be Clovis. Because that was the only thing I found that even resembled it. So I was going with that Clovis. Then I found that burn. And early on I found that other stone, which I thought was a fire rock, so that's why I kept it. We need to find out that it actually has etching on it. You can see the headgear. This guy has some type of headgear, so does this person. And then you see those are stick figures. And then this down here, is a different. So that must be a goddess sitting next to a fire. Actually, she's, and part of their beliefs is she's bringing fire. And then gives that to man. Man dances. Or this could just be a ceremonial thing. I was just maybe after a kill, two people dancing. But as far as symbolism goes, and what has been handed down over the years, you have a symbol of man dancing, and this here, of course, I wish it was in better shape, although it is a miracle that it has even survived at all. But this is what we have of it. I have some way to show this. Let me see. I have to do it over here. If you take this, it will sit up so you can display it. This is a major piece. Upper Paleolithic etching. This here could very well be the symbolism of literally the first people that was on the continent which is now known as the United States. It could very well be. Literally. This is a genuine, authentic artifact. I don't make anything. I don't know how to make anything. I couldn't make any artifacts I wanted to. Not only that, I'm not really a fan of getting my fingers busted from trying to do that. Nope, don't make any artifacts. This is the real deal. Not out to make, like defraud people or anything like that, or make videos, like fake stuff. This is it. Here's a crescent knife. This is the real stuff. I found this, working it, what is it, 4 years now into this. Thought I'd bring this video. This is where they were. This is the very site, thousands of years ago. First people were here. How they get here? Well, that's another debate. Well, obviously by boat, but then again, they've had boats for thousands and thousands of years, so I don't think they just came here purposely. I think they just ended up here. And then over time, there was the Bering Land Bridge. You know, Bering Land Bridge. They, I think there's people coming here continuously over time. Not only did like the Europeans, you know, come here, but over time, like, you know, if you have a group of people, you know, say they do come here by boat from Europe, they're over here on the East Coast, you could have people crossing the Bering Land Bridge at the same time, you know, coming into the United States, and they wouldn't have a clue. Neither one of them are going to know the other's there until, you know, maybe at some point, maybe like 100 years later or something, when they finally actually run into each other. And then you have that group of people coming in here, and then there, of course, you know, there's going to be more probably coming across the Bering Land Bridge, you know, not knowing about the group that was there, that was coming, you know, before them. So they're not going to know, or they may have, like, you know, some idea, like, well, these, you know, these people, you know, they left, they never came back, we don't know if they made it or not. So then they go, and then over time, you get these groups of people coming here, and sooner or later, they're going to run into each other. So that, and then you have the Clovis. They're all coming in. You know, they're all going to be using similar technologies. And, you know, so that would be probably why you'd have, you know, more Clovis, you know, than these artifacts here. Either that or this stuff hasn't been found yet. No one knew this stuff was here. You know, European American, of course, you know, because of construction, you know, roads, houses, buildings. You know, you're going to end up losing, you know, a lot of these sites. So who knows how much more of this stuff here, but for sure, we have a pictograph here, mobility art that was made, and it reads, you know, at least the way I read it, you have a goddess depicted on here next to a fire, because the goddess, we'll look at it here again, doesn't appear to be a stick figure, and she has some sort of, you know, very interesting headgear there. She's kneeling by a fire. Of course, you don't have it here. She's kneeling by a fire and looks like she's working something in her hands. And, you know, with headgear there, and then the smoke going up. And then you know, the other two are you know, stick figures. The other two are stick figures. They differ a lot, as Native Americans, you know, after the tribes depicted their stick figures. There's a lot of ways that these are depicted. This is by no means, you know, the only way that they did it. You know, like, it's just like an example, and by no means there's many ways that they did this. They got, like, you know, like a box and straight legs coming down, but, you know, in general, you know, this is, you know, like, well, like, you know, native symbol, you know, man dancing, and you know, some basic, you know, general symbol of man. Just pictograph. Pictographs are nothing new. Look around, they're everywhere. We still use them. But yeah, you don't have to go very far to find a pictograph. Modern day ones, anyways. There's millions of them. They're everywhere. The railroad over there. You know, in the walkway. America's first European contact, Sandy Man. for the American, well, American Upper Paleolithic technology anyways. But that's just it for this video. There will be more. Let's figure out the next one. We'll be probably be doing one, you know, where, you know, show you all those bones, ancient, you know, bone artifacts. Maybe do like a little more of this, you know, to get it out there. So that's it. Hope you enjoy these videos. Keep watching and updated if anything else further happens, you know, with these artifacts. You know, anybody else, you know, responds, let's talk about it, you know. Okay, that's it. Have a good evening.